Let's all thank the wonderful patrons for supporting the channel. I can't show everything from the visual novel, so if you support me in Patreon, you will be able to watch everything from the old to the naughty. Also, don't forget to ring that bell when you subscribe so you'll be notified with future videos. Now, let's start the show!
Gray! Thank God you're alive!
What are you even doing here? She catches me in a tight hug before I can finish, squeezing the air out of my lungs like a tube of toothpaste. Back!
Oh, right, sorry.
She lets me go, dusting herself off. Her dress has a few red stains on it. Where? And I shoot her a worried glance. Is that? She follows my eyes and examines herself, sighing in annoyance.
No, it's just rust deposits or something. I woke up here after
She stops, looking like she suddenly remembered something. Simon? Ah! I feel a hot surge in my stomach as she sucker punches me in the gut, practically lifting me off the ground with her fist for a moment before dropping me. I fall to my knees, feeling the urge to vomit rise up my throat. Why? Moaning in pain, I crawl over to the nearest corner and face away from them, and puke. The burning in my throat was worse than the throbbing pain in my abdomen. I look back, dry heaving and grasping for air. She only looks a little sorry.
That's for giving me a heart attack with that melodramatic suicide note!
She pulls a handkerchief out of her cleavage and bends down, cleaning off my chin and whiskers.
You were expected to die, right? This should be enough, Dan. There should be nothing, Dan.
I'm an idiot. She's absolutely allowed to be pissed at me. I'm lucky she didn't aim lower than my stomach. I hear someone clear their throat behind us. The other guy. Almost forgot about him. So, this is that gray fellow you were telling me about, miss. Hello! Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I have a bad feeling about this. This must be the guy that was talking with Virgil. Uh-oh. I look up and see a massive barn owl towering over me. He is sexy, but I feel the fear. He's rather well dressed, holding himself with a gentlemanly posture. Ian? Wait, your subconscious knows this guy? It's Ian! Who's this?
Oh, right. He woke up here too. We finally chatted and have been searching for a way out since.
Well, more accurately, she found me. Ian, it's me! Don't you remember me? She does that. She does that sometimes. She bumps me with her elbow, almost toppling me over again. What's your name? Did you hear me? It's... Enough! Who was I yelling at? Sorry. No worries. But to answer your question, you may call me Oleander. Oleander. Wrong owl. I reach out for a handshake and he reciprocates, its featherly grip much stronger than I expected from a hollow bone species. Well met, Mr. Gray. Miss Simone was telling me she's been searching for you. Of course she was. With her God-given knack for deduction, it was only a matter of time before she tracked me down. If it was to this place, in this time, in this world. You know, you didn't have to do this. Oh, she rears up to punch me again but stops, her fist falling limp to her side.
Did you actually want to? You know.
I look away. When I wrote that, yeah, I did. Now, I honestly don't know. She looks down, dejected.
Oh.
Crap! I have placed my hands on her shoulders and look into her eyes. She needs to know I'm being serious. Simone, the second I saw you again, I knew I had made a huge mistake. Even after everything, you risked your life to find me. I feel tears welling up and blink them away. She doesn't hide her feelings from me and lets them stream down her face, makeup running.
You don't say I love you to someone that many times without meaning it, Gray. You're stuck with me whether you like it or not.
I sniffle and wipe my nose, giggling at the absurdity of all this. I never had a choice, did I? She chokes out a reply, tugging on my chin for her playfully.
Nope.
Oleander clears his throat again, popping up between us. Yes. This is lovely, dears. It really is. But we really do need to start moving again if we want to egress. We gather ourselves, nodding in unison. Right, let's walk and talk. The three of us start making our way down the corridor and exchange stories. I explain everything that's happening since I'd left the house that night, only skipping over the details concerning me and Mark's maybe romance, maybe friendship.
And then he told me, you'll find him behind this door, but the price will be mighty high, yada yada yada.
And you still went in?
Already told you, you're stuck with me.
This girl's going to give me an aneurysm. Oleander is vague about his background. He works for a large company that investigates cold cases and found himself lured in by Virgil too. He's a police! Oh no, he's a detective! I believe him, for the most part, but he's suspiciously calm for someone in this situation. He doesn't have any dirt on his clothes. Maybe it's just part of his training? He is pretty built. It's always hard to tell what's fluff and what's muscle with avians. He's on the older side too. No, god damn it, Gray! Can you not be a whore for 5 seconds? Especially with your ex right next to you? Ooh! We're in the sewers! So it is true. We are in the sewers! After a lot of walking, the path splits into two. Well, this is a pickle. Is it? There's 3 of us. Pardon? You two take the left, I'll take the right.
You can't be serious. We just found you.
And I sigh and gesture to the owl's massive frame. If something goes down, you're better off with this guy protecting you. I'm used to getting beat up, I'll be okay. That has no logic whatsoever behind it, but it's the young Miss decision.
Can't we just explore them one at a time? Splitting up feels like a bad move.
If one of these is a trap and we walk in together, we all die. I see. So you're gunning for at least one of us finding the exit. If there's any sign of trouble, we meet back here, okay?
Who decided you were the group leader anyway?
I laugh and pull her aside, trying to whisper as discreetly as possible. Sim, we don't know this guy. If he finds the exit alone, he could just leave us behind to die.
Oh, so you wanted me to watch him and make sure he doesn't pull anything funny?
I pat her on the shoulder, grinning with confidence. You didn't think I'd discount your strength up to that punch, did you? She beams back at me and nods.
Thanks, sorry for doubting you. I won't let you down.
She walks over to Oleander, hugging his arm playfully.
Of course I want... Of course I want to go with Ollie. He's stuck by me more than you.
Oli? I stuck my tongue out of her, followed by a wink. I then nodded at Oli. Keep her safe. He grins weakly as Simone pulls him into the left tunnel.
Will do, Mr. Gray.
Sorry, that was Oli. Never mind. I wait for them to disappear before walking towards my side. Stay calm, stay focused. The walks are lined with hundreds of feet of cable and I trace my fingers along them. Rubberized, this must leads to some kind of electrical device. I follow it for a few minutes before it opens into a larger, brighter room. Standing before the room is a thin metal bridge. Stretching over a chasm, yellow and black stripes painted along the edges. Of course. Oli would have never been able to make it over this. His talents were space wider than this thing even allowed. I gulp and carefully move into it, opting to shuffle across inch by inch. Halfway across, I feel the metal part to give. Okay, I panic and run the rest of the way, jumping off right as the bridge buckles over me and falls into the dark depths. Well, we can't go back there! I listened, waiting to hear a loud clang when it hits the bottom, but no sound ever comes. Well, there goes my way back. So much for my plan. Why is there an escalator here? I turn around, examining my new surroundings. There's a long escalator stretching up into a bright light. I realize that it's the light source for the entire room. As I approach, I hear the muffled sound of a motor starting and stopping. It's the escalator. So I think it's caught on the treads. It looks some kind of fabric. I can see a button labeled emergency start on the console. It would be a considerable longer walk if this thing isn't moving. Should I press it? Sure! Press it! I'm scared that what if all of a sudden the fabric cuts off and then it will like okay, press it. Here goes nothing. I slam down on it with my fist, making a second for it to depress. I hear the motor whir as it reverses, then starts up again. My sigh of relief is quickly interrupted by a gut-wrenching rip coming from below the machinery. What the? It's still stuck on something. I bend down to try and tug the fabric out from between the steps. Come on! I squat down and pull with all my strength. Almost. Something gives. Yes! As it comes free, I feel something cold and wet and hit my face. I can't see! Oh no! Is the fabric the only thing that is keeping the escalator together? I hear some awful crunching noises and wipe whatever's on my face out of my eyes. Is that oil? My hands are red. Oh my god! Oh my Jesus, what am I looking at? Oh no, no, no. Until they gaze upward to confirm my fears, too stunned to even scream. Gore was squeezed out of every gap in the machinery as the steps... Oh no, oh no. As the steps moved upwards, dragging the trail of viscera along with them. The rest of the fabric soon follows. A shredded blue janitor's uniform! Mottled with dark red spots. I look at the piece I had torn up and immediately drop it, falling backwards in horror. It was a person under there. I lurch forward and try heave, having already thrown up everything in my stomach earlier. All that comes up is acid that burns my throat. I'll just wait until like a clean section comes up. Do I have this many organs too? Yes. I guess we really are just meat. Is this how bovine feel knowing how many of us eat their feral brethren? Okay, it finally cleared up. Time to hop on before it loops around. Carefully, I step over the puddle of blood starting to form from and onto this. Well, that answers this question. I step over the puddle of blood starting to form and onto the stairs, the crunching of flesh dying down to a quiet hum. Okay, as I'm carried upward, the smell of blood finally starts to hit me. I wipe my nose, and some of it has already begun to dry, pulling away uncomfortably from my fur. My shirt didn't get sprayed, thankfully. I don't think Mark's detergent is strong enough to get blood out. After 5 or 6 minutes, I'm able to see the top, along with the faint edges of an archway. The shapes of my companions form in the distance, leaning over the railing and waving at me. They shout various things to me, but the echo is way too strong to make heads or tails out of. Feeling a sense of relief, I jog the rest of the way, running straight into Simone's open arms for a hug. Oh wait, the blood!
Ew! What the hell, Gray?
She pushes me towards the owl, trying to rub the stains out of her dress to no avail. Did you suffer a nosebleed or something? His deep voice rumbles through my body and my whiskers stand on end. I peel myself off of him, laughing awkwardly. No, it's not mine. Just a stupid trap to try and psych me out. Nothing serious. They both glance at each other without doubt in their eyes before returning to me. So, how did things go on your end? Ole sighs, scratching the back of his head. Well, we walked for a good long while before coming across even more bloody tunnels. That would have thrown me for a loop. Indeed. Were it not for Miss Simone here, I doubt we'd have found our way through. I look at her in disbelief. She just jiggles and smiles, looking away bashfully.
What?
You're ridiculous, Sam, but I'm glad you're both okay.
Well, this time it wasn't very hard, thanks to you.
Huh? Me? She pinches her nose, gesturing to all of me.
You got a very particular odor, Gray. I just follow my nose.
That's convenient! Ouch, that hurts, especially coming from a skunk. Ole pats me on the back, laughing to himself. Oh, sorry lad, but she's right. Great, the hot new guy always says I stink. Can't wait to hear it from Mark later too. But look, I've been running around the fucking sewer and getting the shit scared out of me every 10 minutes. It's fear sweat! It's quite alright, Gray. I've gotten used to it. Though we owls have a decent sense of smell too. He leans in to whisper, his beak pressing into the grooves of my ear. And very good hearing. He playfully nips my ear. He playfully nips my earlobe and chuckles as he pulls away. I gulp. So he heard us earlier, and still went along with the plan. I glance at Simone, who somehow didn't notice the exchange. Ooh boy! Man, I'm so jealous of this freaking possum. Anyway, both paths led to this area, so the exit must be this way, right? Indeed. I suspect the light is coming from the surface, giving its lack of mechanical origin.
We can't stop now, Dan. Come on!
She runs off into the long hallway across from us, and we follow suit, picking up the pace in an effort to catch up with her. After a minute of jogging, we slow down to a fast-paced walk. The air tense as we stay on guard. This is the final area. I'm sure of it. The light slowly begins to shift, and the air becomes cold and more breathable. Soon the muffled sounds of traffic start to come through from overhead. I look over to Simone and smile confidently. She nods and we walk faster, sensing the end of this nightmare approaching. Ooh! It's the lid! It's the sewer lid! We come to a ladder leading up to the underside of a manhole cover. So we were in the real subway? I don't stop to think about it and gesture for Ole and climb up first. He looks surprised but nods stoically before starting his ascent. I go next, followed by Simone. The order is mostly to preserve Simone's decency. I also don't think either of us could move that cover, at least from this awkward angle. He stops at the top and struggles, fitting his pointed fingers into the grooves and waiting for the rumble of traffic to stop before beginning to twist. The muscles in his whole body tense and I hear him struggling. I'm getting a face full of his ass, and the fabric of his pants buckles as he flexes his glutes. Gray, would you be a dear and support me from the bottom? I can't find purchase from this angle. Yeah, sure. I take a deep breath and move up a few rungs on the ladder until I feel his tight press down on my shoulders pressed down on my shoulders. Yep, it's not just feathers. The guy's built. Much appreciated, comrade. Let's try that one again. Oh, he's either German or Russian. I feel his whole body twist as he tries opening it with both hands, pulling my head between his legs in the process. You alright, lad? I stifle out a small moan but can't speak, my face being squished on both sides by his powerful thighs.
Is everything alright up there?
I give her a weak thumbs up. He's practically sitting on my back now, his junk pressing into the back of my neck. Almost there. Ha! I hear a clang as the metal disc is flipped and lands on the surface. A bright light pierces into the chamber and the sounds of the city are clear as day. He did it! Ole graciously frees my head from his grip and we climb out one by one, finding ourselves on a small side street. We're back! It's finally over. A few onlookers briefly gawk at us but eventually turn their attention elsewhere. I chuckle and drag myself onto the grassy boulevard, collapsing to a heap of exhaustion. What's the point of that? Was he really testing me? What does that have to do with my nightmare of Mark? You know, dying? And involving Simone, that's crossing the line. Wait, Simone! Sim, we're in the... It's too late. She's already looking around, mouth agape and awe. Oli looks unfazed.
Wow, you weren't kidding.
I shrink back, knowing her being stuck here was ultimately my fault. We may have found a way out of that dungeon, but the mystery isn't over yet. Sim, I'm sorry. I wrote that dumb note. I worried you and Idiot's sick. Got you wrapped up in this weird between me and Virgil. I'm an idiot, alright. I'm a useless fool who only knows how to run when things looks bad. I couldn't put you through that again. Sure, you probably already resent me for cheating on you. And no matter how many times you say you forgive me, I'll never believe it, by the way. But there's no way you can excuse this. You're trapped in the future because of my mistake. If you want to never see my face again, I won't blame...
Achoo!
Huh? I look over and see her rubbing her snout and shivering. Ollie holds her to his chest and she nuzzles into his feathery arms. I believe the lady is too cold to respond to your pedantic confessions, Mr. Gray. Oh. Of course, I was only in this situation a mere 2 days ago. She just got teleported from humid and muggy Louisiana to winter in New York City. Temperatures dropped noticeably since I stepped out earlier, and I'm starting to shiver too. I rush over to her side and hold her, hoping that my own meager body heat is enough to warm her up. I suggest we find somewhere to purchase her coat. If she's to spend an extended amount of time here, she'll need more than just that. He cocks his head distastefully at her dress. It's practically only lace and see-through silk. Perfect for the stage, but not intense weather. Was it a good show? She nods weakly, warming her hands with her breath. I quickly look around and check where we ended up at. A street sign says First Avenue. So I ended up downtown in the end. Wonder if Virgil did that on purpose. Regardless, I have a mission right now. Scanning the area, I notice a second-hand clothing store a block away with some jackets hanging in the window. Oli, that way. Let's move together. Oli under. And yes, let's go. Okay? Thrift store? We awkwardly shuffle over as a unit, practically pushing her through the door as we fumble inside. The shop owner gives us an odd look but goes back to her book, giving us a few minutes to warm up.
Phew! You know you're cold when your thighs are feeling it.
I reckon it'll take some time before thighs of your magnitude can fully thaw. Perhaps we can find some pants to go with your new wardrobe. She gives him the stink eye before grabbing my hands and putting them between her legs. Right in the middle of the store.
Cold, right?
They felt like perfectly pillowy snowbanks. Cold, yes, but soft. Right, yeah. Ali shakes his head disapprovingly and begins to browse, leaving us alone for the first time. Well, let's hope they take quarters.
Oh, don't worry, I got this one.
And she reaches in between her breasts and pulls out a wad of bills! What the
It was a good show. Full house, big tippers.
Oh, she's a stripper. Okay. I crack a smile, expecting nothing less. Her singing was outstanding, and she always drew a big crowd when she sang at Jeans. Oh, she's a lounge singer! Okay, now that's different! I wanted to see her perform one last time before I left, but I was worried if I did, I couldn't go through with it. But to know I was right. So, see anything that's catching your eye? She chuckles, sitting down on a bean bag and crossing her legs demurely.
Now, Gray, I've just been informed I'm in the 1960s. I have absolutely no idea what fashions are in right now.
And she pouts and crosses her arms childishly.
Thus, there's no point in trying to put together a decent look. I've lost before I've even started. Just pick something out for me, sugar. You have a good eye.
The familiar routine. She tells me to pick and then hates every single thing I bring her until she caves and looks for it for herself. I must have the goofiest grin on my face as she stops pretending to pout and giggles when she looks back at me. Sure, sugar. Maybe I'll get it right on the first try this time.
I bet my left said you won't. But good luck.
I venture into the back, making a mental note to buy her a contemporary fashion magazine sometime soon. I think she'd rather like how liberated the women of this era seem. There are racks upon racks of dingy denim jackets in garish colors, tacky white colotsmen, and hundreds of demented-looking hats. I really don't want to walk out of here empty-handed, so she won't make it back to the apartment at this rate. I'm going to have to explain this to Mark somehow. Today is really not my day. I'm so caught up in my thoughts, I nearly trip over a box in the corner of the store. The owner cranes her neck to see what the ruckus is and silently mouth an apology. The box is full of more sensible items, and I pull out a brown suede jacket that looks about her size. I was never great at discerning one's bust size, but style is more important right now. Hey Ollie, what do you think of... Huh? He's gone. Did he slip out while I was talking to Simone? Wow. Leaving without a word after all that left a bad taste in my mouth. Regardless, I run to show Simone my find, hoping my time with Mark has improved my fashion sense.
Oh, that ain't bad. I like the fringe too.
Right? It's kind of reminded me of the cowboy get-ups we used to wear as kids.
Yeah, didn't Sam have... sorry.
It's alright. I brought it up. By the way, where did Ollie go?
Oh, him? He left a few minutes ago. He wrote down his contact info for me in case we need to get in touch again.
Odd guy. That one. Look who's talking. So you'll take it? Oh, wow. Okay. Okay lang. I hold up the garment and she claps approvingly, snatching it out of my hand and dancing over to the register.
Yep, now let's get something to eat. I'm starving.
Same old Simone, living each day by the seat of her pants and having fun to boot. We walk back out into the cold, less harsh now that Simone's walking with me arm in arm with her new duds.
Should we ask around for a place?
Nah, let's walk around. Don't you want to see the city?
What is it with men and never asking for directions?
Hey, I'm just trying to... Oof! Some guy walks straight into me, almost knocking the both of us over. Sorry, pal!
Asshole! Are you alright, Gray?
Yeah, I just... Wait! Suddenly I feel lighter. I pat my pants and notice my wallet's gone. Damn it, that guy just robbed me!
What? Oh, just wait till I get my hands on...
Fellas. Hello! Who is this rat? We pause and turn around, seeing a young rat swaddled in layers of winter clothes holding out what looks like to be my wallet. That's pretty classy trick, my guy. You gotta be quicker than that around these parts. Don't worry though, stole it back for you. I snatch the wallet back and comb through it before remembering it was empty to begin with. I slide it back in my pocket and laugh awkwardly embarrassed. His picture with Mark is in the wallet! Thanks. It's AJ! You two's new around here! Simon pushes past me and leans down, staring inches from his face.
Yes, we're very new. Could you maybe show us a good place to eat?
She's using her baby voice. How dare me! What's in it for me? She pulls out her wad of cash again and licks her fingers, pulling out a few singles as AJ watches wide-eyed.
How's $5 sound?
The kid snaps out of it and nods, holding his hands out greedily. She lets go of the bills and he snatches them out of midair, stuffing them into his coat in the blink of an eye. Pleasure doing business with y'all. Alright, follow me, chumps. Before I can add anything, he starts power walking down the block. Simon grabs my arm and pulls me along, and I almost trip over my feet. Once again, she's adapted perfectly to the situation. But what about Mark? What about... Oh no! We're back here! We pass an alleyway and I stop in my tracks. Homeless, packed wall to wall, women, children, old, young. Simone notices and doubles back, her smile faltering. That could have been me if I never run into Mark. What are you two doing? Yeah, real shame. Oh my god, do you have a Scottish accent? Yeah, real shame. Especially this time of year.
Aren't there any shelters they could stay in?
They're all full. They're better off trying to get arrested just so they could get a cell to sleep in. Jesus. As if that ain't bad enough. They've been going missing lately. People are talking.
Really?
They say some guy will come by and offer you a place to stay, asking for nothing in return.
And then?
Nobody knows, but you don't come back.
What?
Uh-oh. Is this Mark?
That's awful.
Yeah, ha 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 ha. Just rumors though, right? What does he look like? He gives me a confused glance and nods slowly. Yeah, technically. Still troubling info. Still troubling info either way, but they pass. There's no way, right? Mark had plenty of chances to, if he really wanted to, I mean. It's hard enough to believe someone would specifically target the homeless, let alone him. He has too much to lose by letting strangers into his apartment. Plus, he said I was the first visitor, didn't he? If that was a lie, then... What? Gray! Ah! He got lost in thought and jumped at the nosy rat. Earth to possum! Come on, I still got a job to do here.
Let's go, Gray.
I nod and run to catch up with the other two. Those dark thoughts still lingering, and I can't help but look back at the alley as we walk away. You take a few sharp turns until we came to a large diner situated on a quiet street corner. Here you go. This place is pretty decent. Decent? Good burger and fries. Doesn't get much better than that if you ask me.
I'm sure it's fine. I'm hungry.
She tugs on my arm, dragging me towards the door, and I wave goodbye to our little guide. He smiles and tips his hat at me as he turns away. I can tell he's heading towards the alley we just came from. Though he's homeless too. God, my heart sinks. He couldn't be older than 16. Hello. Governess Diary, 1918. Oh, interesting. She showed up again, always on the first of the month after the family's fast asleep. She never makes a move for the gate. I don't suspect she is the thieving type. She just stares out in the grain, eyes wide. Been doing this for about a year now, ever since we put the Dawson boy in the box. I wonder if she knew the young master. Each time I go... Is that... Simone? She just stares out into the grain. Or Jean? Or Jean? Whatever. I wonder if she knew the young master. Each time I go and check the field this morning after. Though, maybe she dropped her dolly through our fence and she wants it back? Whatever. Whenever I approach a young madame, she makes a run for it. There's sadness in her eyes. I hope she finds whatever she's lost. She makes for an interesting still life at the very least. Okay. Timeline? Okay. Joshua's death. Okay. My heart sinks. He couldn't be older than 16. Whatever rent Mark pays on his apartment could probably feed that whole group for a week. Don't forget where you came from, Gray. You're equally guilty for not helping. Oh, hello! It's a diner! It's a sway diner! We get seated by a nice older lady and get brightly colored paper menus. Simone orders a coffee, but I'm in the mood for something a little bubblier.
I'll have a sarsaparilla.
What? You mean a root beer? Huh? You know what? You're getting a root beer. Do I have a choice? Hey, wait, it was Gray saying? I'll have a sarsaparilla. What? You mean a root beer?
What? Oh, you mean a root beer?
Huh?
You know what? You're getting a root beer.
Do I have a choice?
You'll love it.
Okay. She writes it down in her notepad and walks away, leaving us alone.
So,
She fidgets in her seat, looking out of the window and tapping rhythmically on the table.
there's no chance this is all some crazy dream and we're all really at home, preferably drunk and pass out?
I sigh and lean on my hand, quickly scanning the menu, even though I'm definitely getting a hamburger. No, believe me, I have the time to rule everything out. Something unexplainable has happened to us, and I think it has something to do with Mark and the other ones I mentioned.
Right, in the golden plate. The place that sounded suspiciously like heaven, yet you're clearly not dead.
Yeah, and I'm fairly certain Mark isn't either.
But not 100% certain.
I bury my face in the menu, uncomfortable with the topic. I saw something in a nightmare. It felt too real to have been completely in my head. I vaguely described the scene, leaving the gory details vague as to not spoil our appetites.
Hmm.
And I can't help but feel like something awful is going to happen. Any day now, especially with how unpredictable he can be sometimes.
Great.
I mean, yeah, he's handsome and rich, and he's pretty much taking care of me for free.
Gray.
Who wouldn't take advantage of this opportunity with the position I'm in? It was just a hand. This was just the hand I was dealt. Ahem! A large bull is tapping his foot. Notepad and pen at the ready. Sorry, I'll just have a hamburger. He furrows his brow. Anything else? That's all. Zim?
I'll have a grilled cheese and fries. Extra crispy.
The bovine nods and takes our menus. Walking with heavy hooves into the kitchen, I slam my head into the table, cursing myself for that awkward reaction.
He probably serves hundreds of burgers a day, Gray.
I know.
Probably having a good laugh about it right now.
That makes it worse! She giggles and pats me on the back. After a few minutes of small talk, our food arrives and we eagerly dig in. It's decent like AJ promised. Something about mediocre food can be more comforting and satisfying than a 5-star meal. Just getting to sit with Simone, someone who just a few days ago I thought I'd never see again, feels surreal. Maybe more surreal than anything Virgil thrown at me. I noticed the clock on the wall. It's almost 5 o'clock. Oh no! Shit, he's going to get out of work soon. She stops and looks at me mid-chew with a puzzled look. Like,
Huh? Who's that Mark guy?
yeah, I wasn't supposed to even leave the house today.
Supposed to?
I gulped, realizing how bad that sounded. It's not like that. Oh, that's what she looks like! Put her Sprite back on! She looks better! She puts her fork down and leans her elbows on the table, sternly looking at me. Where's the burger?
Gray. Again?
I had a feeling this would come up. Hey, come on, Sim, I just met the guy.
And you're already living with him?
I really don't have time for this. If I want to get home before Mark, I have to leave now. But I'm enjoying my time with Simone too. Maybe I should be so worried. Ugh, what should I do? Choices colored red will drastically change the outcome of the story. Make a separate save file if you want to experience the full story. Wow, thank you! If I stay with Simone, it will break Mark's heart. But if I go with Mark, it'll break Simone's heart. Oh no. Sige, let's go see Marka. No, I made a promise. Friends keep their promises. Promises. Simone, I'm sorry, but I have to go.
I see.
I'm going to need some time to convince him to let you stay with us, but I'm sure if we...
I don't want to stay with him, Gray. What I want is to go home with you.
I want to go home too, Sim, but I know this whole thing is tied to Mark somehow. I can't let whatever I saw happen to him. He's important to me. He's important to me. Hmm. Come on, you know that's not what I...
Actually, I just remembered something.
What? She gets up, throwing some change on the table without counting.
Oli told me I could stay at this place until we figure out what's going on. Something about me being his lucky charm. I think he's trying to solve the mystery on his own.
Oh. But are you sure you can trust him? She rushes past me, her bushy tail almost knocking me over. I grab her waist and squeeze it gently. I hear her mutter something under her breath. What?
Can you really trust him?
Yes.
I'm happy then.
She wrestles her arm from my grasp and jets out the door. Just like that, she's gone again. Ooh. I didn't ask her to find me. I have to finish what I started. Then we can all go home. I'm sorry, Sim, but you'll thank me later. With the food paid for, I head out to look for another subway entrance, preferably not a sewer this time. I locate the same line I needed to originally get here, and head down the stairs. I doubt Virgil's going to pull the same trick twice. I notice a canine worker posting something on the bulletin board, while a line of people waiting patiently by the information booth. What's going on now? I get the old lab's attention, and he moves his fluffy... he's a Labrador! Okay, his fluffy bangs out of the way to take a look at me. What's that now? Hey, is something going on with the trains? I need to go home. I need to get home. He slowly blinks a few times and replies in a dry tone. I guess that was a dumb question. Yeah, looks like the sea beach line's currently suspended due to derailment. What? Hey man, I just work here. I apologize and walk over to the map, shaking my head in frustration. The train lines can just suddenly go out of commission and leave you stranded, huh? I don't have the money or navigation skills for a taxi. What to do? None of the trains nearby would connect without a long walk between stations. At that point, I might as well just... Alright! I fish around and find a piece of paper from this morning at the bottom of my pocket. It's crumpled, but the museum's address is legible. This is what we agreed on. Even if he gets mad, it's better than getting completely lost. I run back over to the Labrador, straightening up the paper against the edge of the poster board before holding it up to him. Hey, what train can I take to get to the Mama? Well, you can go a few blocks south and catch the northbound 8th Avenue train to 53rd and 5th Avenue. They're calling soon, though, so you better... I'm already running up the step before he can finish. As per his instruction, I find myself at the correct train heading towards Mark's work. I don't have a very long ride, so I need to think of what to say to him. Hey Mark, I know you told me not to leave the house, but I remembered I'm an adult, so I f***ed around in the city and ended up in a demonic subway station. No worries though, I found my friend, who's also been sent here from the past with no proof, and we escaped. Oh, but don't forget... You have blood! He's gonna question about the blood! But don't forget the photo of your dead brother I found in that drawer. I'm sure there's a perfectly normal explanation for it. Okay, seriously though. Ahem. Hey, I'm sorry I left without telling you. I just wanted to surprise you by getting to know the city on my own. And look, I even made it to the museum by myself. Let's suck it out and order more pizza, okay? Yeah, that sounds good. Depending on his mood, it'll either work or I'll get yelled at for a while before he eventually caves and forgives me. Maybe some wine will help speed that up. That sounds awful out of context. My stop comes up before I can ruminate on the subject any longer. I collect myself and head out into the world again. Oh, before I can appreciate the majesty of being in Midtown again, I am being pelted with cold droplets of rain. Oh, come on! Everyone seems to have magically expected a sudden shower, as I'm the only one without an umbrella. I sigh to myself and trudge onward, remembering a similar walk only a few nights ago. At least it's warmed up. The setting sun is reflected against the soaking wet asphalt. It's peachy orange hues. Peachy? Does this look peachy to you? This peachy orange hues are occasionally interrupted by the indigo shadows of people walking across. Street lamps burn defiantly and car headlights cast a blinding refracted glare as they catch my eyes while making a turn. Even in the rain, the rhythm of the city continues uninterrupted, and I'm at that one discordant note straining the listener's ear. I spot the entrance and take shelter under the awning, making a futile attempt at shaking myself dry before walking in. Well, here goes. I go to open the door, but it slides open on its own, as if it could somehow sense me approaching. Act unfazed, Gray. You can't freak out at Mark's job, but you're freaking wet! The lobby is mostly empty. Oh, great, he is wet. Oh no. The lobby is mostly empty. A few lingering patrons staring at some extremely abstract art occupying the walls. Spotting the reception desk, I make eye contact with the greeter, who's entirely bewildered with my disheveled appearance. I fake a wild grin and confidently grudge over, trying to ignore the squeaking of my wet shoes against the marble floors. I probably look insane, but this is New York, remember? She'd be the weird one for making a scene. How can I help you, sir? Unfortunately, we'll be closing to the public in 15 minutes, so ticket sales have ended for the day. Right, I'm actually here to ask about one of your employees. Her eyes widened with interest for a moment, before returning to their default expression of indifference. Name? Mark? Mark what? How did I never get that out of him? It's not like I give him mine either. Sir? Her bratish voice, tone, and a feeling of stares from the other patrons are starting to get to me. This was a mistake. Please, Mark. Show up! Please! Mark. Big red maned wolf colored suit, red glasses. What department? She has to be fucking with me. Oh, archives. She clicks a few buttons before picking up the phone, holding it in place so she can reapply lipstick while looking in a tiny mirror. Hello, yes, Lauren. We have someone looking for a Mark in archives. Ring any bells? You can hear a pause followed by some murmuring on the other line. The gazelle finishes. Oh, it's a gazelle! Okay. Finish. If only there's like a sprite or something. Touching up her makeup and nods occasionally before hanging up. Well. The head of the conservation department will be here shortly to help with your inquiry. How would that help if she's on another department? She rolls her eyes and twists open a bottle of nail polish, the odd chemical smell hitting my nose like a ton of bricks. Ugh, she's the only department lead who's still in the office, sir. May I remind you we're closing in 10 minutes? She says the last part through gritted teeth, and I back off, waiting around the seating area without actually sitting, lest I damage their precious couches. Oh, hello! A few minutes later, a slim cheetah exits from one of the elevators and is pointed my way by the receptionist. She walks halfway before stopping, noticing the state I was in. I can see her whispering something to herself before approaching me, examining me before extending a hand. Hello. You must be the fellow looking for Mr. Lazarus from the archive department. Huh? She sighs and puts her hand on her hips. Mark, Christ, he didn't even tell this one his full name. This one? What did she mean by that? Yeah, Mark is still here, right? I didn't miss him. What did he promise you? A place to stay, food and shelter? That does it. I can't turn a blind eye to this anymore. Jill! She hollers at the gazelle who almost falls out of her chair. Lauren reaches over and grabs the phone from her desk, yelling at someone before hanging up. Am I in trouble? She doesn't answer, tapping her foot patiently while looking over at the elevators. Aha! Soon the doors open and Mark leaps out, rushing over to me with his coat slung over his shoulder and briefcase half open. Gray? What are you doing here? Before I can answer, Lauren steps in between us, staring Mark down with a low growl. It seems one of your young wards has come to the museum to see you. What are you implying? You can't keep doing this. Did you forget what happened the last time? Especially if they're going to come to the museum during work hours asking for you. What if Mr. Charlton saw this? He already warned you once. Mark snarls and gets her in her face. Fist clenched at his side. The fight was attracted some onlookers. Okay! He speaks in a flat, menacing tone. Stay out of my business, Lauren. I told you about that in confidence. When our boss started coming to me for answers, it became my business, Lazarus. Hey guys, please stop. Mark, I just want to go home. Yes, of course. I'm sorry. He pushes past Lauren and rubs my shoulders, pushing me towards the door. Mark! He turns and looks at her a final time. This one is different, Lauren. Please, don't tell Mr. Charleston. She looks away and stays silent, ears lowered. Come on, Gray. He ushers me outside, struggling to pull an umbrella out of his coat pocket. What? Oh wait, that's Lauren! That's the woman he won! He asked for help to have that blueprint something to be posted and so he can buy it from the auction. He ushers me outside, struggling to pull an umbrella out of his coat pocket while we wait under the metal canopy. Look at all the trouble you caused. Excuse me? He sighs, ignoring me to continue fussing with his coat. This one isn't thrilled either, you know. That got his attention. He whips around, staring me down with cold eyes. You were supposed to wait for me to come home! You saw how dangerous the city was. I told you again and again, just wait! But no, you clearly knew better. Judging by your current predicament, old Mark's just here to take the fall when you show up to embarrass him. Yeah, you know I wasn't doing it on purpose. Don't lie to me, Possum. You knew this would get under my skin, didn't you? What? No, Did your little friends from the Roaring 20s magically show up and decide to whisk you away on an adventure against your will? Was the rabbit there too? Come on, let me talk. He shoves a finger at my face to shush me, and I swat it away, baring my teeth and growling. Stop it! He backs away, ears lowered. Gray? This conversation, this day. I stomp the ground in frustration and run towards the subway. Gray! Don't turn around. I can't deal with him when he's like this. It looks like the problem with the train line's been fixed. Good, I can get back to the apartment myself. I mean, are you still welcome there? I ride in silence, sopping wet and cold. Nobody looks at me. I'm alone again, but I want to be. How could he talk to me like that? I mean, Mark seems to be a freaking controlling type of person. Even just a simple problem, he goes berserk. He was so tender last night. I thought I actually knew him. I'm such a idiot. The second something isn't going Mark's way, he snaps, and I don't want to be around that Mark. It's just like when I was with Idian. That's exactly what Simone would say, but she'd be right. Am I just attracted to assholes? Apparently. No, Mark wasn't an asshole the first day. That's why I fell for him. It's weird that I'm already nostalgic about it, but he was just so perfect then. I sit up and lean forward, resting my arms on my knees. Everything about that was so dreamlike, and this feels like the harsh reality I'm used to. Disappointing people, abandoning my friends, and the photo. Maybe he really is just that broken up about losing Joshua. People react to death in all sorts of weird, unexplainable ways. Wait, diba you said that this is the 1960s? This was 1966, yes? So that means 1963. 1960. It was 3 years ago. Yes, he did mention that. Gray meets Mark in New York, so that's 1965. So that was 2 years ago. But it happened on the. But the death of Joshua was on the new year of 1963. So it's going to be in 1966 in just how many days? Okay. That's not excuse for mistreating me, but that's the only reason they picked me up off that street. But what was that Lauren lady implying? That I'm not the first? If what AJ was saying is more than a rumor, there's no way Mark is a serial killer, right? A temper, sure. A typical personality, absolutely. But murder? That's out of the question. I don't have a shred of evidence to convince myself otherwise. But still, that's an extreme accusation to make. Maybe if I get to the house first, I can find something to protect myself with. This is East 77th Street, 5th Avenue. I jolt out of my seat and out of the door. An old man who I swore was asleep the entire ride managed to snap awake and slip out after me. Do New Yorkers have a sixth sense that tells them when it's their stop? My brief amusement is replaced with the dread of going back out in the rain, undoing any drying off the train's heaters I'd accomplished. I unceremoniously stomped my way towards the apartment, remembering there being a covered area by the entrance. I could take a refuge under. I turned the corner and see someone sitting there already. It's Mark! A taxi will be faster than the train, I suppose. He notices me and looks surprised before melting back to a somber sadness. He turns away and I feel my heart sink. Drama! I rub my arm and debate for a moment before walking over and sitting next to him, not saying a word. His eyes are red and puffy. Oh, he was crying! The fur around him matted. He was crying! Did he cry on the ride home? He was crying! Damn it, I'm not supposed to feel sorry for him, but I do! Hey. There's something I never quite figured out about you. He grunts inquisitively, still looking at the ground. A guy who has everything, a good job, a nice house, living in the richest city in the world, wanted me. So, I guess I'm just not used to kindness, genuine or otherwise. He scoffs and waits a few seconds before responding. I'm so hard on you because it's genuine. Huh? What is this dramatic music? He sighs and turns to face me, his amber eyes dulled by the overcast skies above. I know I can be a lot. I don't have a ton of experience dealing with people anymore. Ever since I got this job, I've isolated myself out of fear. Fear of what? People meeting the real me. Figuring out I'm some kind of fake. That I'm not actually qualified for any of the tasks they gave me. Or worse, wanting to socialize with me outside of work and learning there isn't much to me. I'm just an old, washed-up dog who's lucky to be making this kind of money. Mark, you know that's not true. I don't! You don't understand what it's like living here, Gray. Anything you have can be taken away in a second. Like those homeless families in the alley. Like AJ. Like me. Then why were you... I paused and tried to find a way to reword what Lauren said. Taking people in, other than me, I mean. He's silent for a while before replying in a hoarse voice, choking back tears. I don't know. Maybe because I thought I could earn this whole being well off thing if I give some of it back. When you donate to a charity, you don't actually see the good you do. You have to assume that it ends up in the pockets of whatever disenfranchised group you're aiming to help. What if I saw a guy, anyone who I thought would be safe to bring in, clean up, get a taste of the life I'm so privileged to have, maybe it would feel less hollow? I think I finally get it. If things had gone differently, if I had stayed at the manor, I would be like Mark someday. We're carrying the same guilt, coping with the same unearned benefits that come with our species and our families. The wound never closes, it just bleeds slower. I put an arm around him and rub his back. Mark, I get it. He sniffles and wipes his nose on his sleeve, those dull eyes beginning to glisten again. You do? Yes, I've been where you're at before, and I made the wrong choice by running. So I'm not going to run from you either. He pulls me into a tight hug and I squeeze him back. I can't lose anyone else, Gray. I don't want to be alone again. Please don't go. Damn it! Every neuron in my brain is screaming at me, telling me I'm making the same mistake I did with my last relationship. With Simone! Some of them sound like me. Some like Simone. Most like Simone. I reason them all away and focus on the rush of dopamine filling my body like a glass of decadent rosy wine. I start giggling into his chest and he looks down, confused. Shrugging, I wipe tears out of my eyes and kiss him on the nose, making his ears flick around cutely. Huh? Just like that? I smile and get up, brushing myself up before holding out a hand. Yep, come on. I think I'm overdue for a shower, and you have work in the morning. We can't spend all night out here caterwauling now, can we? Right! He takes my hand and we head upstairs. How long is this? He takes my hand and we head upstairs. We're barely even in the elevator before he pulls me into a kiss. And I use my tail to hit the button of our floor. Mark, I'm all wet. Your suit. Don't care. I feel his arms around my waist and he leans into me, pinning me against the wall. I've been waiting to do this all weekend. I feel my whole face turn red and close my eyes, enjoying the feeling of his warm breath against my cold, shivering lips. The ding of the elevator snaps us out of it, and he pulls away as an older woman walks in, giving us a curious look before turning her attention to us. We're like, I sigh in relief and hear Mark giggling next to me. I elbow him gently and he reaches behind me, grabbing my butt. I elicit a squeak and cover my mouth, avoiding the gaze of the elderly feline who must have some suspicions by now. I whisper for him to stop and he pats my ass one last time before removing his hand. She eventually gets off a few floors before us, and surprisingly, he doesn't pounce on me the second the doors close. But when we get to our floor and walk to the apartment, Mark hanging his coat up properly while I toss the umbrella in his receptacle. I promise I'm not being a horn dog, but could you take your clothes off here? You know, since you're going to shower. Right. I don't want to mess up that carpeting. To be continued.